Morning, everybody. It is dark outside because it is raining, and I think for the next 2 days it's going to rain. So I guess that's a good thing. Maybe there's a cold front coming through. I don't know. I'm not a weather person. Matt left his water thingy here. He left all his water thingies here. He didn't take anything to work with water in it, so he'll have to rely on small cups of water to drink out of. Unless he's got something at work. He would be the kind of person that would have something at work, so. He's probably got water glasses strewn everywhere, just like Batman has bat suits strung everywhere around Gotham. He's got water glasses strung everywhere around the city. Wherever he is, he's not that far from a water glass, I'm sure. That's big enough to carry a couple of liters of water, so. All right, since I did the raspberry last week, and I kind of forgot to clean everything out, we're gonna do a little bit of a tear down and a clean out today. And then I'm going to run. The coffee family was at a Latino arts festival over the weekend. Here's their list of desserts, by the way. Holy cow. There's a QR code as well if you wish to scan stuff. But Colombian coffee, yes. Baked goods, double yes. I mean, they had samples of their cherry Colombian cake. Oh my gosh, it was so good. We got tiramisu. We bought the passion fruit cheesecake. It is wonderful. It's got little passion fruit seeds in it, so you get a little crunchy crunch in it. But it is delicious. They also have this soft bread filled with guava. It's really good. We also bought Halloween cookies. Buttery. They've got chocolate on the inside. They look like little skulls. I've also had the tres leches, which here they describe as 3 milk cakes, so not to scare away the straights. And it is amazing. I've not had their Black Forest roll cake. I love a good Black Forest cake. I really do. Chocolate and cherries and cream are like the 3 best things in the world. And they also have a cheesy bread. So, and unit means per individual. So if you bought one of these cheesy breads, it would be $3. So a $10 pack makes sense. $4 unit, maybe a translation kind of thing. Also, they've got different like frappuccinos and stuff, but they've also, this is their ground coffee. So, and their whole bean coffee. And then they've got a medium roast balanced that I saw that was $10. But I'm like, no, you know what? I want my traditional medium roast beans, please. Oh, something else that really nice that happened. I don't know about your endoscopy departments, but mine send me, thank you for getting your butt looked at cards. So that was nice. And I do feel better. Butt stuff. All right, so we're going to take this apart. I put the raspberry through it last week, so if I'm going to put a neutral coffee through it, I want to get all of the old grounds out of the burrs and yada, 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 and all that happy stuff. And then we can put the medium roast Colombian from the coffee family through. If you want a good just coffee. Ooh, okay. These feet are getting a little weird. One of them is actually kind of breaking a little bit because these metal corners fit into these seals here that are rubber. And I'm hoping that there are replacements for those rubber seals because they are. There's one that is having a problem where it's like bending and nearly breaking. So I'm hoping that if necessary, I'm able to get some kind of seal for it. Flat burrs as opposed to the conical burrs that are in the other bean grinder that's over there. There we go. I'll also pass some of the beans through before we do anything, just so I can kind of get the smell changed, because it is raspberry, and the raspberry smell does permeate quite a bit. Now, I've never watched a video on how to properly clean this thing, but it seems like what I'm doing here has worked each time. So I think it's okay. As far as cleaning stuff out has been, yeah, so. And then you get the buildup down here, and you I try to line it up with a hole, and then get our little bellows here going, and then try to blow it out. Well, I don't try. It actually does work. It's just a matter of you got to get it close to the hole, otherwise I think it just kind of spreads itself out more than it does go down through the hole to... It's funny how it kind of sweeps itself up a little bit. All right. Let's see what that does. Let me get the other brush. It's a little bit finer. This one's kind of rough. This one's a little bit finer and bends a little bit more and gets into the places. It doesn't get in between here, though. I kind of wish I had something brushy that got in between here. The wall and the burr itself, that doesn't fit. I gotta find something that I'm willing to get coffee all over and not use for anything. Because once you get coffee into a brush, even running it underwater like this doesn't necessarily get all the coffee out. And it's not like you want to use your coffee brush to accidentally clean out like your cat water dish, your cat water delivery system. That is now a fountain, because that's just the way it is. So, then last we'll get this watered a little bit, and then dry it off as best as we can. We'll run it through the Chemex today, and then tomorrow. I don't know if I had the rock the last time I had Coffee Families. Wonderful medium blend. Sounds like we're done. We're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. We'll let it go a little bit further. So it'll be nice to run it through the rock. See what I can get going there. Because it is, like I said, it's a medium roast. And as much as I've been enjoying the light roasts that I've got, seems like, and we went back to One Line Coffee. Oh, there it goes. Down in Franklinton this past weekend, and they had a ton of light roasts. There weren't very many medium roasts to be had. So, all right, let's get this seated again. These ears like to bend, so I'm trying to get them seated without overlapping those ears, so that they bend down, and I think that's part of what's making them break a little bit. And it doesn't really, I don't know. This thing is an odd duck sometimes when it comes to trying to get it back together in a manner that's, I don't know, I feel correct. But I think that did it. All right. Okay. Because if it's not seated correctly, this thing takes a little bit longer to get screwed on. When it's on there correctly, I feel like it just screws on almost immediately. Yep. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Excellent. We're going to do an espresso, so let's do that. Get our ring back on here. Line it up, because right now I feel like I'm good. I don't have a micrometer to measure whether this is actually a 15, whatever the hell number that corresponds to is. So, and I think we'll make it a, oh no, wait, we're not doing espresso today. We're doing filter. The back or all the way down. Let's do about a 70. Let's do about a halfway there. Okay. Take the cord around the kitty as to not disturb it. But it can High five. High five. High five. There you go. Cord's got a mind of its own, though, so just don't pick it up by the cord. So yeah, we went to a Latino arts festival over the weekend. Oops, of course, a little bit more. A little bit to grow on, popping out of the thingy. And a friend of ours, Andrea, had made some art. A beautiful bowl that she said up until last week was holding avocados, which, you know, that's what you want out of a bowl that you've made, right? You want it to be functional. You want it to work. You want it to do something. Art can be useful. Art should be useful. If it's taking up space in your house, art probably should be useful. So, all right, like I said, now this doesn't have a seal on it. So we can open it from the top, but you can also cut it, and it might be just better to snip the top off. But I'm going to need a alligator clip to seal it back up because it doesn't have a seal on it, unfortunately. But, you know, it's fine. Let it breathe for just a second. These are big beans. I mean, it's just the most delicious, neutral smelling coffee you can get. And see these beans? These beans are pretty big. These are nice big beans. They love to escape at any given chance. Let's do a 30. Let's do our 32. And do a 34. Why not? There we go. Now there's not a freshness date on it that I can remember. Oh wait, here we go, down here at the bottom. What's it say? Hang on, let me get an alligator clip and maybe you guys can tell me what I see here. Get the big one. Because I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Yeah, you can. No, I can't see it. I can't tell. That says 13/11/24. And then this says 11/12/25. Because I'm taking it as this is day, month, year. Day, month, year. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you how depressed I would be if these were roasted in 2024 November. Because we're coming up on that birthday. And, now, do they smell stale? Coffee does go bad. First it goes stale, and then, you know, it kind of gets I don't want to say rancid. Rancid's a weird word because it's dried. So, I mean, there's really not anything to go rancid on it or in it because it's totally dried all the way through. Oh boy. What's caught? Uncatch, will you? There you go. That's a sigh of depression because I don't know. I honestly don't know. That would be the assumption though, right? If you were to look at the bottom of a bag and you were to see those numbers lined up like that, you'd be like, yeah, that looks like it was done in November. Oh, that would be a bummer. I mean, can I tell? Well, I mean, I would, after everything that I've kind of gone through with coffee over the past 2 years, I would like to think I could tell if a coffee is gone off. If that's exactly what those numbers mean, that the coffee's gone off, we'll give it a little bit of a bloom here and see what happens. I am going to tell you right now, that is the most lifeless coffee I think I have ever put in a Chemex. I have never seen such a lifeless coffee. I mean, it should be degassing. It should be just bubble, 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 bubble. And it's just sinking. Oh God. Have I gotten something from last year? That would be depressing because I do know that their coffee is really good. They're a family-owned business. They're very proud of their business. They're very proud of their farm. They're very proud of the things that they put out. So I know that they would be very upset to know, yeah, look how lifeless. All right, well, let's just do our normal thing here. It's just depressing. You know what I'm going to do beside it? Hang on. Now, I know that this is a light roast, but at the same time, let's change you out for a second, and then we'll put this through. Yeah. That doesn't smell right either. What a weird, how weird. Let's go ahead and do the Colombian Las Nueves, Nubes. It's the cloud, Colombian cloud. I'm going to put this through at the same. That just doesn't smell right either. That weirds me out. It totally weirds me out. Give me a second here. I know I put about 100 in there, so. Oh, shit. I don't want to be weird about it, but I'm like actually flustered about this a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. We're going to use our clever, and we're going to watch the other one degas. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to keep adding water to this one. And you guys can kind of, if you go back and forth on your timeline, maybe I'll do a fancy split screen. You know, you can kind of, oh, wow, I forgot. That's hot. Not that hot anymore, but, oh, shit. Okay, we're all right. Oh, damn it. One of them bounced into the, I got a bean that bounced into the hopper. All right. Now, we watched this one degas, or try to, and there was very little movement. Now, it's going to be a little different, even though it doesn't really have to be, does it? We can just open up the chamber and turn it into a pass-through. So let's do this. I'm going to add the water, and I want you to watch as I put this in here. I want you to watch it bubble. We got movement at the top. There it is. See? That's degassing. A little plop, 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 plop. It doesn't happen everywhere, but it happens in certain places where it starts to degas. That's the degassing. This didn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, it smells like something. It reminds me of Granddad and Grandma's house and their coffee. I'm going to put you down here. I'm going to give you a swirl just to give you something to attach to. And then we're just going to treat this as a pour over. And there's just more life in this. Look at all the bubbles. Look at it bubbling. Look at it churning. This is just, This is Taster's Choice. Now, it's not fair to smell because this is fruity and delicious. I'm not saying that the coffee family's coffee is not delicious. It is. It's a medium roast. It's just quote unquote normal. This is, of course, a geisha. This is, I don't know if this is Arabica. I don't know if I'd be able to catch that in the Spanish. Not really. Yeah, but you can kind of hear how the clever kind of turns into a pour over if you just put it on top of the jug that you're going to drink from. It's actually kind of nice like that. We'll just fill it up. There we go. I'd never seen something so, it was so odd. It's like lifeless. You know, you get a little life back when you get fresh beans that have had their, a little bit of time to shine and degas on their own and stuff. But I mean, so same grind settings. I understand this is a light roast versus the medium roast. This is a geisha specialty coffee. This is like an Arabica. I'm not saying it's mass produced, but it is, a standard, more or less. We've got mud. We even kind of see how it's ground up differently, even though it was the same grind setting, which again has to do with the medium versus the light. The big chunks you've got up here along the inside versus kind of just the silt looking deposits around that top. The kind of pepper looking surface you've got on this versus it was just being flat and frothy over here. Yeah, the degassing was like dramatically different. I'm curious, but at the same time, a little frustrated that I'm afraid I paid $20 for something this old. It almost has a pretzel kind of smell to it, kind of bready. But then again, I don't have a very refined palate. So it's like, this is coffee. It's not bad. Being me, I don't hate it. It doesn't upset me. The only thing that really upsets me is seeing that date and the fact that there was no gas left to come out when it was degassing. And then Matt made a mistake and left his shoes right there. He loves to play around shoes. I don't know why. Yes. I can't leave my shoes beside the bed. I have to put them in the closet. Otherwise, they'll sit there all night playing with shoes. I don't know why. This is going to taste different anyway. So it's like I said, it's not really a fair test of flavors because this is geisha. It is fruity. It is zesty. It is like lemon, lime, fruit, lychee. Groovy. I love that. It's just funny because good coffee, when it gets old, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but good coffee, when it gets old, just turns into Folgers when you run it through. Now, if it were 2 years old, it would probably be really bad, because even ground bulk manufactured coffee like Folgers, like Taster's Choice, like Dunkin' Donuts stuff you get on the shelves, that has a shelf life. It's only good for so long, and it even says so on the bags. It doesn't say when it was made, but it will tell you when you probably should get rid of it. And in the case of this, it actually does. If this is the dates that that's, you know, we're talking about here. It does say, you know what, this goes bad in November of 2025, technically. So it's just weird because the smell was odd. The fact that there was no gas to come up and out was fascinating, as opposed to this, which is lively and just ready to just fart the hell out of the top of the coffee bed. You know, this, when we went and did our bloom, it was just flat. There was nothing coming out of the top. It was just flat. Any foam was just agitation. It wasn't gas coming out of the ground coffee. And like I said, it's not, if you can enjoy a Folgers properly made well, whatever that is, I guess. I mean, do Folgers in a pour over, I suppose? I don't know. They're playing now. If you know, because they're not used to me being up this early. If you get that, and you know, it's made with good water. It's made with a nice filter. It's you know, made in a clean coffee pot. You know, it's not offensive. Add milk to it, and it's you know, it's fine. You know, it's even better added milk to. I mean, it doesn't taste lively. There's no life in this coffee. It is just brown caffeine water. This, on the other hand, like I said, has a personality. It's juicy, it's acidic, it's lime, it's lychee, it's wonderful. And as it cools down, it'll get even better and better and better. So, you know, so that's disappointing. We'll use it until the date that it says, you know, if I go back to it. I don't even know if I want to put this through the espresso machine. It might be, I mean, it may just be a bitter mess. And I don't know if that's worth the time to try. Maybe I'll do it on my own and we can figure it out. But I don't know if doing it during a morning coffee therapy would be worth trying. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get back to it. We'll do a Bones coffee tomorrow. I've got that up there. I was so looking forward to it, and here we are. Yeah, look at the beds, the different beds that we've got going on here. That's the one line, you know, and this is the coffee families. So normally coffee families is great. The coffee that I've gotten from them is lovely. I know the pastries that I've got from them are absolutely amazing, but that's too bad. Oh well, I mean, this is far from scientific, but at the same time, you know, you watched me pour this shit out. So it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, this is the way this is. So thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. It kind of turned into a little bit of a science experiment, didn't it? Especially on a rainy day like today. It's nice to try that kind of stuff. But yeah, I didn't take any pictures at the Latino Arts Festival because it's like, it's their art, and I feel like that's unkind just to walk around, take pictures, and then display those pictures. People should be going to these festivals and looking at the art. And I will say there were quite a few people there. It wasn't a very big space for them to set everything up, but with the space that they had, they did a wonderful job. Some great dessert vendors. They had some people there that were doing 3D printed stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then the next day, we went to, he called it a flea market, but I've never been to a flea market that took Apple Pay. So it was a market. And I got some really cool things. This, look at this. My first Star Trek album. Look at that. That's so cool. I haven't listened to it yet. But it's just, it's just orchestral. But look, they were like $8. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, why not? At one point, it was 30 bucks. It looks like almost at one point it was like 59 bucks. So, but those are all on the inside, I think, on the album, which is a little bit of a bummer. And then I found Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, $16. There's 2 albums, 4 sides here. That's really nice. I don't think this is a reprint. Usually they tell you it's, yeah, this is 1973. So usually they will say originally printed and then reprinted on. So I'm pretty sure that this is an original. I've been collecting the records. I've been trying to get as much Jimmy Buffett as I can. Here's The Last Mango in Paris. This is the last one that I believe I bought. So yeah, so that says 85. And I think this is an original. And then here's the changes in latitudes for Jimmy. Let me see here. Yeah, this is 77. It doesn't say anything about being reprinted. So there it is. Too cool. Too cool. Records and record player. This is my record player. I don't know if I've shown that off. Maybe I can do a video on it. I don't know. But yeah, it's a Soundburger. It's very small, portable. It has a battery in it. So you can charge the battery, unplug it, and I'm not sure how long it's got battery-wise. So you have to plug it into an amp. So, or Bluetooth. You can Bluetooth it, which is actually kind of nice. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great Tuesday. It's trash day. I have to remember to take the trash out. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.